Okay, guys, I've currently got a poll on the screen asking which of you would like to be contacted by Jeffrey. We will have a record of your vote, so those who vote yes will be contacted. I'll bring back up the contact information for Jeffrey and Matthew in just a minute. I'm going to leave the poll up for a little longer, as only 41% of you have voted. Those of you who have not voted may not be paying attention. Hello. All right. Now, there have been a number of questions asked during the presentation, and I'm sure you will have additional questions. I strongly encourage you to contact Jeffrey and or Matthew to answer all your questions personally, but we will take these few questions today while you are voting. So, first question, and I'm not sure who asked this one, but it's a good question. What is different about Jeffrey Caudill compared to Sean Fisher or Alan Halcomb, which is with Moss Creek Designs, Alan Halcomb? All right? Let me just say this. I want to be careful what I say here. There's a huge amount of difference. There's a huge amount of difference. Now, I know all three of the folks that we're talking about, and there's only one that has your best interest at heart, and that's Jeffrey Caudill. There's a huge difference between what we're able to do with Winterwoods Homes and the other guys, all right? We did talk a little bit about these differences, but one of the main ones is that we can trust Jeffrey to work as a teammate with us to sell a home. The exclusivity of our supply arrangement is very important. It means that we're going to get to sell some materials on every Winterwoods home. We do not have that with any other person. The exclusivity of the designs is a huge deal, as these guys, these plans are only available through us. So these are very, very important deals. Jeffrey has actually put together a business model that allows you to make money, all right? And you have been incented to sell Winterwoods homes. You can make an income. Jeffrey uses our material in all homes that are built by Winterwoods Homes. So there's a big, big difference between Winterwoods and the other designers. So let's move on. Does anybody have anything to add to that? Okay. Move on to the next question. Let's see here what we have. Okay. What is the typical cost of a custom design from Winterwoods Homes? Asked by the wonderful Bob Carper in New Hampshire. What is the typical cost of a custom design from Winterwoods Homes? Would anybody like to address that? Jeffrey, go ahead.
Bob, thanks for that question. The answer is very simple, and the average cost is going to be somewhere in the 8 to 10%. If we're going to be engaged to do a custom design and take it to full construction documents, it's going to be typically 8 to 10% of what we would project their budget to be for that build. So it's as specific as I can make it for these purposes, but there are other options in addition to just that 8 to 10%. But just to use simple math, if you had a project that was going to be $500,000, it would be about 8% or $40,000 to have it go to full set of construction documents for you to turn over and have the ability to then build that project with your customer.
Thank you, Jeffrey. Matthew, you want to say something?
Yeah, let me shed some light on that. Bob, also, as I mentioned, you have total access to all the Winter Woods Homes designs. I think I just want to clarify to make sure that Jeffrey's point was taken as far as the custom design. And, you know, the actual, any of the 18 designs or the designs that he has now can just fall directly under the design pack, the build pack, fast pack, any of those types of things. And that's really what you're wanting to shoot for, because a perfect scenario, without going into too much detail, is if we have a Teleco now that's one of our standard plans, and I submit that to Robert or Todd or to, you know, the drafting department, say, this is my customer's plan, here's the design pack. Well, originally, if it was a Teleco plan, I don't make any extra money just because I'm using that Teleco plan. So I reference and I use that Teleco plan kind of as a template, and then I get paid an extra $1,000 for it being a Winter Woods home. So, you know, there's some more stuff that would go fit in the business model for myself personally, and you all too. You know, if you agree to, you know, work with Jeffrey and Winter Woods Homes.
Bob, also we see your follow-up question in regard to what's the difference between the role of the project supervisor and the general contractor on the job. I'm going to let Chad Scoggins have the microphone just for a second and describe the difference between the two roles, and I'll kind of fill in wherever he doesn't. So, Chad, you want to answer that question for Bob, please?
Yeah. There will still be a GC on the job, whether you yourself are the builder or it's us as Winter Woods Building Group, but simply the project supervisor is just somebody who, when you go out on the job, you just oversee the job, maybe submit some pictures, keep track of what's going on, make sure that the home is being constructed to Winter Woods Home standards as well as Tennessee Log, and it's a quality project. So it's just simply to be eyes and ears, to be keep close supervision of what's going on with the materials, with the quality of the project, and the general contractor, whoever that may be.
All right, thank you, Chad, Jeffrey, for those answers to those questions. Again, these guys can be contacted to give you more detail or to clarify anything. We have a question from Miss Jan Luknaka, who is in the lovely state of Maryland, and she is a lovely person. She asked, can we get PDF files of some of these designs for our own ad campaigns, mailings, and websites? You absolutely can. In fact, you already have them. Those are contained on the flash drive in the collateral that you have. And if you have not received that for any reason, please contact Patty Cornell, and she will get that to you. Okay? Let's see. Next question.
Can you tell us more about the spec home idea and the revolving funds to build these repeat homes? What sort of clients are we referring to here? Again, that question goes back to our slide that referred to the investment model. And who submitted that? Mark?
Mark Effinger.
Mark, good morning. The short and the long of it is, for the purposes today, is, again, what the type of person we're looking for here could be a developer. It could be an individual of high net worth with discretionary assets that they can use to build one or two spec homes on a moving forward basis ongoingly, and one that will understand the investment model that we describe to them when we sit down and start working with that person. For the purposes of today, I'd like to try to keep it that short and invite you to talk to me one-on-one so that we can be more detailed without taking up a lot of other people's time today and get to more questions. I hope that will suffice for today, but that's the type of client that we're looking for, that type of prospect that has high net worth, that has discretionary assets, and that understands real estate, the building process of how to build and sell a home, and then turn that money to do it again and again and again. And the big trigger there is showing them how to do all of that in a tax-exempt environment, which gives them current economic benefits right from the beginning while the house is being built. It has taken Matthew about a year and a half to understand just what I've told you now. So it's a little bit more complicated, but I do invite you and I welcome the opportunity to talk to you specifically about it, and anyone else for that matter, too.